Hi, I'm John, and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures, where I'll be talking and reviewing action figures from different manufacturers. Today, we're going to be having a look at part 4 of the video. So, of course, we're going to let this pass a bit. I'm going to start the video by talking about the Haslab stuff, who is a huge disappointment. So that's going to come now. And then afterwards, we're going to have a look more at the Haslab unboxing of the Cobra Rattler. So, I wanted to start the video by the most disappointing thing. It is the kind of reveal of the Haslab G.I. Joe stuff. Now I'm going to put some sound up. As you can see, there's some snow behind, so yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Snow Cat. Because
they really can, and it's especially so like a lot of us on the design team have cats at home, and
so
as you
cats,
know, cats are
yes.
super helpful when it comes to.
But sometimes can be difficult.
Sometimes can be difficult. So my cat has been
Very resilient animals.
very resilient animals. So they help with the design process.
Yeah.
So
Hope you get through.
So anyway, don't need to watch any further. You know it's going to be the Snow Cat. The big point about it is a bit of a disappointment is that vehicle, like I explained in my video, that it should have been a regular vehicle and not something as a Haslab. Now, there's some rumors around that it's going to have a cargo bay, a bit similar to the His Tank. So is it going to be a cross between Snowcat and the Ice Saber? Only time will tell. We should be getting more info next week. Anyway, let's dive into the start of the video because you don't need to pass 54 minutes watching this. It's a waste of time, so I'm going to go quickly through it, and we're going to be quickly having a look at it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts about it. As you can see here, it does look pretty neat as the vehicle, but you're going to see that during the video, you're going to see that there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff that seems clunky, wobbly, and I'm not really convinced that it's going to hold a time test. So let's have a look at that. So let's start by the way the box looks. Again, if you already have the hiss or you have the dragonfly, you will know that Hasbro is doing a pretty neat job in packaging for it not to get damaged. And not only that, there's some really cool features around this box. Now, of course, we can see over here the stuff that nobody wanted, the patches. Now I can understand it's a nice little add-on, but for tier, I would have preferred a figure or some kind of other accessory to go with the box itself. But here we're going to have a quick look at it, going to spin it around. And as you can see, yeah, the art looks pretty awesome on this box. Now, of course, this is something that you cannot really expose because this is takes up a lot of place. But I mean, yeah, it does look pretty fantastic. Now, anyway, we're not going to stay around for 54 minutes and watch all of that. Let's have a look at what comes in the box. So I've jumped forward because, like I said, if you have 54 minutes to waste on there, you can go and have a look. But let's have a look at the figures because the figures are pretty neat. As you can see, this is, of course, White Weasel. Now, I really do like the fact that we're getting an unmasked figure here and not some kind of masked figure, only like Copperhead was done back for the classified series. So let's let Lenny open it and we're going to have a closer look at all of that. Of course, you can see there's a nice little scar that he has over there. I'll have to check because I can't remember, but I believe that there was a reason behind this scar and he was having some problems speaking, if I have a good memory about it. But hey, anyway, let's have a look at the figure. Yeah, the figure looks pretty neat. I like the fact that you have his map pad that can be strapped on over here like the original figure. Then it looks like you have some extra parts over here that you can trip clips over here. 2 different helmets. Yeah, that really does work. And personally, I like the render that they did for the classified series. It's a nice touch and has a lot of similarity with the figure that they did at the beginning with the original Rattler. Now let's have a look at the other figures. Okay, now let's have a look at one of the most interesting figures, who is the Baroness. So, come on, Lenny, open her up. Let's have a look at her, because this is what everybody is really waiting for. This was one that I called out and was right about it when they were talking about the unlocked tiers. And yeah, the Baroness does look pretty neat. Now, yeah, that really looks really neat on the figure itself. Sadly, and I'm looking at the figure, that looks a lot darker than the original version, who's a bit of a shame, but I do still like it. I like the fact that we're getting the original rifle that we should have got with the retro figure, who's a bit of a shame. I think it's maybe one of the worst retro figures. I will be talking about it when I'll be getting it and giving my verdict of which is the best Baroness. So it looks like she has 2 pistols with extended mags. She also has a headphone over here set, and she has, of course, her glasses. And we have 3 different haircuts, so that's pretty neat as a accessory. Oh, and I do like, of course, the helmet. This is exactly the same one that we got with Super 7. I think that's maybe where I got the idea that they should be releasing the Baroness with the Cobra Rattler as one of the unlocked tiers. But yeah, the figure looks pretty good. I would have preferred to go on to a lighter blue, because this is true, it's a bit dark, and there's not enough contrast between the vest and her gear and the rest of her uniform. So that's a bit of a shame. So anyway, let's have a look at the last figure that is available with it, and that is the turret gunner, or the assistant gunner. I don't know, remember what's the name of it. So this figure is pretty neat, I must say that, from the pictures. Now let's have a look, how did he change compared to the original one. Okay, yeah. So he is pretty blue. Yeah, the blue seems to be a match to the Cobra Rattler itself. So that's pretty neat. I like the fact that you're getting 2 interchangeable heads. It would be interesting to see if they work with some other figures, because the big sad problem about this, you only have 1 figure. You're not going to be getting any other figure like this. So you will have to choose between Caucasian head or Afro-American. So that's something that's a bit of a shame. Instead of getting patches, we could have got maybe a second one, or some kind of ground crew that would have been more interesting than the patches. But hey, Hasbro decided to go with it. So let's see what we have. Okay, some cool weapons. So yeah, I must say this looks pretty neat. Anyway, now that we have seen all the figures, let's jump forward and have a look at the Cobra Rattler itself. I'm not going to go through the unboxing, it's not worth it. I'm going to jump directly to where it's all built up. So here we are back again. We're going to jump forward. So as you can see, the matte color of the Rattler really looks really nice. And of course, the fact that he's going to be explaining that this can be removed, because if this will not be able to be removed, you will not be able to put the pilot in. But yeah, as you can see, this hatch removes itself like the original Rattler. Over here you have the ladder who will give you access to the plane. But yeah, overall it does look massive and looks pretty nice. Okay, so you have some little extra parts. Then I watched the video, and something was a bit scary. Okay, watch this. You saw that? The gear, it doesn't come out properly. And this is on springs, and springs with tension, with age, this is going to age so badly. This is a bit of a shame. It's a gadget. I mean, this vehicle is done for adult collectors. We don't care about the spring-loaded stuff. That's something for kids. Okay, you have a button there because you want to block the wings. Yeah, I have no problem about it. But the spring loading and the way it's moving, this seems really clunky. This doesn't seem very solid, if we can say. I'm a bit scared that this is going to be extremely fragile. So yeah, that's going to be a big issue for me. I mean, look, the way the wings come out, we know that they wanted to do it for the wingspan and to be able to expose it, but you're still going to need a pretty big shelf if you're going to put it. But you can see that everything seems extremely wobbly and not very solid. So that's something who is really scary. Of course, when I will get it, I'm going to be going into more details about it. But yeah, this is a really, really huge disappointment on this part, because this is an expensive toy for adults, of course, and getting spring-loaded action stuff, yeah, doesn't really work for me. Like I said, everything is wobbly. I prefer something you pull out, you put it back in, and not have halfway coming out and moving around like this. I can understand that the original Rattler was a huge problem for the people who owned it. Because of the fact of clipsing it in to make it solid, there was tendency of bringing a lot of stress to the plastic, and a lot of the gears, landing gear on the original Rattler had a tendency of breaking because the plastic was not soft enough. Now, of course, if you had the original Rattler, or even the ones that they did at the later date, you know that you had two panels. So you get only one panel with some battle damage over here. Yeah, I don't know. This looks a bit weird. I can understand they wanted to go on to the head with the battle damage helmet, like if he got, but it does not make sense. If you have the battle damage over here, you should have also the windscreen over there damage. But look, you can see, look how it's bouncing back out. This does not look really good at all. So this is a bit of a disappointment. Now, of course, we can see the little battery pack over here, so that's where there's going to be the battery. Be talking about more about that when I'll be doing the review of the Dragonfly. I'm working on that also, and certain things that are a bit of a disappointment. So yeah, I mean, this is like I said, let's have a look at when he's pulling all these down, how everything seems to be moving. It does not feel solid at all. But otherwise, I must say, it does look pretty cool. And I must say, I cannot wait to get mine. Of course, you can see over here, we're going to skip. This has a little drawer that you can pull out. You can put your extra missiles or extra effects over here. And you can slide all the rest of the gear underneath. Anyway, let's jump forward and let's go and have a look at... Oh yeah, no, I'm going to skip the patches because that was an insult. Of course, they're going to be telling you that every patch over here is applied on the pilot, on the gunner, and on the Baroness, but that doesn't still make it that it's some kind of really cheap tier to unlock. I would have really preferred something else. Anyway, I'm going to move forward when we have this thing all geared up. So, here we are, going back on that, and now they're going to put some of the effects, but here it looks all built up, and I don't know. I don't know if it's them who don't know how to do it, but everything, like I said, seems a bit wobbly. The bombs on this side seem to be kind of okay, but over there it seems to be hanging in there, but nothing really much. But okay, yeah, those are the missile ones, Lenny. That's not the effect that you want over there, because if you're getting this kind of heat on the back of your wings, you have a serious problem. Okay, you're changing, yeah. So when you're looking at it, it does really look pretty neat. But I mean, yeah, for me, I have to see it in hand. And something that was very disappointing on it, they did not do the light effects on it. I mean, so you do a video of, what is it, 54 minutes, nearly 55 minutes, and you don't turn on the lights to show us all the features, is a big of a disappointment. Now, okay, yeah, no, Lenny, no. That doesn't go there. The Gatling gun is the reason of a cooling system. The Gatling gun only fires one bullet through the different cannons, so you will not have two bursts coming out from your Gatling gun. If it does, then you have a serious problem with your Gatling gun, and I would eject immediately if you would have it. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Anyway, that's going to be it for my thoughts about it and the big disappointment. about what we got for the Yojo June event. It's really a bit of a letdown. I was expecting something a lot better, and sadly this is not what's going on. So yeah, it is a bit of a disappointment. We'll have to wait for next week. So I guess they're going to be revealing it maybe on the 30th of June, Monday 30th of June. I don't see them doing any other video before about the Snow Cat. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a disappointment. I'm calling already out that if they're going to really go for the Snow Cat, and even if they do a modified version of the Snow Cat, I'm calling out that we're going to get Blizzard Tiger Force with it. Because Hasbro has been talking a lot about the fact of getting figures out who are special versions with the Haslab and not trying to go for the main characters, because not everybody has $400 to put in this kind of vehicle. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, please leave a like, share, comment on the section. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Also subscribe to the channel, it helps out a lot. You want to go and check out some pictures that I've done, some other things, go to my Facebook page, Instagram page, everything's in the description. The link is all there, so go and check it out and have some fun looking at some of the pictures I did. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!